postseason where going the distance is now expected, it's no surprise the final ALDS is between two teams we've come to expect it from most.
The Orioles fight off elimination.
The Orioles and Yankees battle one last time in a do-or-die fight to advance. Their series are no longer decided by innings, but the team that fuels hope the longest.
There will be a Game 5.
You can just feel the anxiety.
Orioles, Yankees, Game 5, next.
For the Orioles and the Yankees, it has simply come down to this. One game, with the winner moving on to the American League Championship Series to face the Detroit Tigers. It is Game 5 of the ALDS from Yankee Stadium. The Orioles and the Yankees here on TBS. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. Along with John Smoltz and Cal Ripken, this is Ernie Johnson. So we got ourselves a Game 5, and really, what did you expect between these two teams who have battled on even terms all season long, including this postseason? 22 meetings, split right down the middle, 11-11. Look at the run differential of just 2 favoring the Yankees. 8 games decided by 1 run, including the last 3 of this series. Well, John, the Yankees got CC Sabathia on the mound. He's their horse, but also one of their superstars, Alex Rodriguez, bench for Game 5.
Yeah, this has been an amazing series. We've seen everything, including tough decisions by Joe Girardi. Already pinch hit for him twice, now decided to bench his superstar. This is a Game 5 mentality. They have to win. You can wipe the slate clean if CC Sabathia can do his part. And what CC Sabathia means for the Yankees, well, he's your ace. He started Game 1 and dominated against the Orioles. He was able to win that game, and now they've got him for Game 5. That's what the best record allows you to do. But don't mistake the pressure. A lot of pressure on the Yankees. CC can help them by doing his part on the mound, but they're going to need a hero today. They're going to need somebody special to step up.
As far as the Baltimore Orioles are concerned, Cal, I mean, this is their 6th postseason game. It's their 3rd elimination game. They are still standing.
Well, this is going to be a big challenge for CC Sabathia today. But the whole season has been a big challenge. They were picked to finish last. They were supposed to fade in August and September. They were supposed to lose to the Rangers. They are supposed to lose to the Yankees, but here they are. The Yanks have the household names, but the Orioles have guys like Nate McLeod, who has swung the bat really well, one of the few Orioles that have. Then they have a guy by the name of J.J. Hardy, who got the big hit last night that drove in the run. That's not the hit. But anyway, if they can keep it close, if they just feel they can keep it close, and they get into the 6th or 7th inning, they feel they're in the driver's seat.
It's like Chris Davis, their right fielder, has been saying, this is a team that's unassuming and relentless. Those qualities have been evident in this series. Well, here we go. Yankees, Orioles, one more time.
Bronx. Time for Game 5 between the Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles. 52 degrees. Quickly, let's check in with Craig Sager.
Joe Girardi made the decision to bench A-Rod at 1 o'clock this afternoon. He said he sent a text message to Rodriguez, to whom replied, "If you need me, I will be ready." Now, before taking batting practice, A-Rod was obviously disappointed, but he did stop to talk to the media briefly, and he said, "It's not about Joe. It's never about Joe. I always have to look in the mirror and do what I can to do the best I can." A-Rod is owning up to his poor postseason performance. If the Yankees lose tonight, he will not be to blame. But if they win, you have to figure that he will again be in the spotlight and get his opportunities in the next series against Detroit. Ernie?
All right, thank you, Segs. A-Rod 2 for 16 in this series with 9 strikeouts. And he'll be an innocent bystander as we get underway in Game 5. Nate McLouth leads it off against CC Sabathia. McLouth a spark plug at the top of that lineup, and he's also been a big production guy for the Orioles in this series. Swinging at the first pitch, Curtis Granderson tracks it down for the first out. Let's take a look at the Orioles batting order here for Game 5. J.J. Hardy hits second, then Adam Jones. Chris Davis is the cleanup hitter. Matt Wieters is behind the plate. The 20-year-old Manny Machado plays third. Then it's Mark Reynolds, Lou Ford, the DH, and Robert Andino, the second baseman. As they face, for the second time in this series, CC Sabathia.
Well, the big key for CC Sabathia is any pitcher who pitches this game, you got to be able to command your fastball. And then once you start the game, it's just like a regular game. Everything leading up to it makes you think more about the elimination game than anything else. Once you actually throw your first pitch, you're pitching a big league game.
0-1, up and away, and the count even.
What CC did so well in Game 1, he had command of his fastball, slider, and changeup. That changeup very underrated. And the scouting report, I would say, saddle up. Get the big saddle on your back. Carry your team. Home sweet home. He loves pitching at home. And then harness those emotions.
In the air by Hardy. And Swisher calling for it. 2 up and 2 down. There's the way the Yankees line up defensively. Ichiro, Granderson, Swisher around the outfield. No Alex Rodriguez today. Eric Chavez with his 6 gold gloves plays third. Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira. And Russell Martin again behind the plate catching CC Sabathia. Here's Adam Jones, who has really struggled, Cal. 2 for 19 in this series. 2 for 22 in the postseason.
Well, I had a chance to talk to him a little bit. He is fighting his emotions. He's trying to figure out, how do I play in this environment? And I just told him, hey, it's a learning experience either way. And last night's game, I think that long extra inning game, the last couple of at-bats, he felt pretty good about himself. But, you know, it's not a one-size-fits-all. Do you slow yourself down? Do you calm yourself? Do you play off your emotion? Whatever works for you in this situation. And that's the hard part. He hasn't been in this situation. He doesn't know yet.
26 years old is Adam Jones, had a career-high 32 home runs this season. 2 balls and a strike as the right arm went up by home plate umpire Mike Everett.
I think as a pitcher, you don't want to wake anybody up, meaning if there's been a successful formula, stick with it. You don't need to outthink anybody. Just keep going to where they're aggressively been outside the strike zone. Last night, there was not a need to throw many strikes. We'll see how today fares.
Count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Adam has had good success off of CC in the past, so that's a good place to start if you're not swinging the bat well. Just start to get your confidence, start to remember you're good at bats against the guy on the mound.
Jones is hitting pretty well. 311, 14 out of 45 with 3 home runs. He waits on a 2-2.
Kind of interesting today, a 5 o'clock start time. Normally Yankee Stadium's filled. It'll take a little while to get it filled today based on the traffic and everybody getting here. But early on, they've let the team know that they realize this is an important game for them to continue watching their team.
Payoff pitch. And Adam Jones goes down swinging as we head to the bottom half of the first in Game 5. Batting order. Derek Jeter once again in the leadoff spot. Ichiro hits second. Robinson Cano in the 3-hole, and Mark Teixeira hits cleanup. The hero of Game 3, Raul Ibanez, the designated hitter today. And then it's Nick Swisher and Curtis Granderson, who are really struggling big time. Russell Martin had the big home run in Game 1 of this series. And Eric Chavez plays third base, and he hits ninth. Jason Hamill on the mound for Baltimore.
Well, when he started in Game 1, we didn't know what to expect, and I don't know that he did. That they had been nursing a knee injury, hadn't pitched in quite some time, and he did exactly what every Oriole starter has done. Don't change anything. Limit the traffic, no big inning. The Yankees have only had one multiple inning, and that was the 9th inning of Game 1. That's the only crooked number they've been able to put up. That's why the Orioles are in this series.
Yeah, they scored 5 in the 9th in Game 1 to break open a 2-2 tie. Jeter tried to check his swing and could not. 0-1.
That first pitch is scouting report. That's all that is. That's just making sure you realize that Jeter's up there and you don't want him to get this crowd and everybody into it. Just throw him a first pitch slider, and he couldn't hold his swing back.
Jeter hitting .421 in the series, and he's behind in the count, 0-2.
You get the feeling both of these offenses are going to break out at some point. This is a weird series. We thought they'd score a lot of runs.
I think they're due for that in Game 6, Cal. Really, the offensive numbers have been anemic in this series. Pitching has been outstanding. Jeter takes upstairs a ball and 2 strikes.
You know, think how this series started. 2.5-hour rain delay. The next day a rain delay. We've had some interesting weather and wind, and today it's actually the coldest of the 5 days. So I don't know if that contributed to much, but pitchers are having their way.
Count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jeter went 1 for 3 against Hamill in the opener. He will work a count, and he's worked it full, 3-2.
Nobody does it better than him. He saw 124 pitches, it seemed like, yesterday from the pitchers. He fouls off a lot. He works the count to 3-2. He's looking for one that he can handle and get a hit.
Strike 3 called. And Jeter doesn't think much of it. 1 down.
Well, there's our first look at pitch tracks, and I would say pitch tracks and the umpire got it right. Really, the umpire's done a pretty good job this series. We haven't had any really arguments or anything that's really caused any controversy. And Jeter always, as he does, tries to go down with the bat to help the umpire out, Cal.
That's a technique that's unique to him, I think.
Here's Ichiro.
But very successful ordinarily. I think he thought that was low. Had plenty of plate. He questioned one pitch yesterday that was borderline low as well.
Foul right back to the screen. The count even, a ball and a strike. John, you talked about Hamill and the knee problems he had. Did have the knee scoped in July to remove some loose cartilage, and then came back and then had some pain in the knee and had to sit down again. He showed no ill effects as he began this series, pitching game 1. On the ground to Andino, who throws out Ichiro for the second out. Here's the way they line up defensively. McLeod, Jones, and Davis from left to right. 20-year-old Manny Machado, who has really got an arm at third. J.J. Hardy at short, and Dino at second. Reynolds at first, and Matt Wieters behind the plate.
What's interesting to me about this series is everybody acts to pressure or reacts to pressure in different ways. We all know New York has the most pressure on them, and they have not reacted offensively for their superstars that have been here, done that. Baltimore's just going to keep better and learning from each moment. So if they get an opportunity to keep playing, I don't think you'll see some of the same type mistakes that we've seen. And I think people are scratching their head and going, wait a minute, the history of the Yankees the last 9 or 10 series hasn't been exactly what you think it is. When you have an opportunity to win a game at home or advance your playoffs, they haven't exactly done that, other than the Twins. In the last 9 ALDS, they're 4-0 against the Twins, 0-5 versus everyone else. So if you're the Orioles, you're going, hey, let's try to make it 0-6.
We're in that category of anyone else. If you look at that, I don't give that much weight, though. I know it's a big deal. I know that we talk about it, but they're all different teams. So what do you make of that?
I make that they had the Minnesota Twins number.
There you go.
And no one else's.
And no one else's.
You talk about the struggles of Alex Rodriguez, bench today, but Robinson Cano has struggled, hitting just 111 in this series, 2 out of 18. And this from a guy who came in after hitting in 9 straight games, 9 multi-hit games in a row, 615 during that stretch. But he has struggled here against the Orioles.
And you know, I don't know, Cal, how you feel about this, but as a pitcher, when guys behind you aren't doing too much, you have more freedom to do what you want against a guy who typically in the middle of their lineup, 3-hole hitter, their best hitter. And maybe that has some pressing issue and going after pitches that you normally wouldn't and being less patient.
The 2-2 from Hamill.
Yeah, generally speaking, when your offense is not working, many people in the order, especially if you're one of those main guys, you think I got to do a little bit more. And I think with Robinson Cano, he was so hot at the end of the year, and we all fear it just a little bit as hitters, thinking, okay, you know, I can't stay this hot. I'm going to have to go through a little bit of a slow period, and you don't want that to be going into the playoffs.
But you don't expect to fall off the edge of the earth either. That ball is drilled by Cano right down the line, but foul.
As a pitcher, you never thought you'd see this. In other words, when you want to have fun with somebody, you go, hey, did you get the limo? Make sure you got to the game. Normally, you would never say that about those 3 guys. Well, Cano was 24 for his last 39. You're finding ways to not get him to the park if you're a pitcher in that stretch.
Tapped up toward first. Scooped up by Reynolds. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jason Hamill and the Orioles. Play TBS Social Dugout presented by Samsung Galaxy S3. Predict plays before they happen, score points, compete against your friends, and earn rewards. Don't download the app by visiting tbs.com/social dugout. I downloaded that too. In fact, I think there's one in which you can predict the inning in which John makes his first golf reference. But
you know, I haven't done that yet.
I know. I'm very impressed. Top half of the second inning. Cleanup hitter Chris Davis leads it off.
Are we counting in the breaks too?
I don't think I've done it in the break. I'm in a funk.
Nothing around a golf won't cure. Sabathia into the wind. And that is tapped up the line. Martin will throw him out for the first out.
Well, CC has pitched a lot in the postseason. Here's the left-handed slider that has given a lot of left-handers problems. And a nice play by Martin. But he's only pitched and started in one elimination game. He came in relief last year, if you remember, because of the rain out in game 1. He came in relief and pitched an elimination game against Detroit, and the Yankees lost. But he's 1-0 with a 3 ERA, 6 innings. Surprised to find that out with all the amount of games that he has pitched. More times than not, it's game 1, but depending on the next series, he has yet to pitch in multiple elimination games.
Matt Wieters takes the ball outside, 1-0. Wieters just 2 for 17 in this series. And when you throw that wild card game against the Rangers into the mix, he's 2 for 21 this postseason. Takes a strike, count even.
It's a good point, John, that when your first experience is in the playoffs, you're trying hard, you're running high a little bit, and the more you play, the more you get relaxed. You almost get to the point where I'm not thinking about the end result. You're just focusing on the swing. Because all hitters that focus on the end result don't do too well. You don't hit a home run trying to hit a home run. You hit a home run because you put a good swing on it. And really, that's all you should be thinking about is just, let me just put a good swing on this pitch.
Wieters waiting on a 1-2 from Sabathia. Breaking pitch gets him looking.
This is a pitch that's been so much better for him. This is a curveball. He's got a tight slider, catches the bottom of the zone, and Wieters, of course, thinks that's down. He's been behind the plate. He's a taller guy. And you look at where those knees are and where he caught the ball. I think the hardest pitch for an umpire to call is someone's got a really good breaking ball. And is it where you catch it or where it crosses the plate?
With 2 down, here's Manny Machado.
To your point on the hitters, I think what makes it tough here in Yankee Stadium, and obviously yesterday was so special for the bullpen to go 7 1/3 and not give up a run. You're so enticed to hit a home run. This park gives up so many home runs, and I think the hitters fall prey to the park sometimes and thinking, oh, if I could just hit one swing, game over. And you saw a lot of that yesterday. A lot of vicious swings, not a lot of adjustments or short swings at all.
Only 6 home runs hit in this series, which features the 2 top home run hitting teams in baseball. They've all been solo homers. One of those by Machado.
Now, to that point, when a right-handed hitter goes into Fenway for the first time, he gets into so many bad habits trying to hit the ball over that fence that when the game time comes, he can't fix himself.
The playoff veteran makes quick work of the kid to end the top of the second. You can watch bonus camera angles for the division series and ALCS with postseason.tv. Get started now at MLB.com. We head to the bottom half of the second inning in the decisive Game 5 of this ALDS between the Orioles and Yankees. The Detroit Tigers waiting for the winner. Here's Mark Teixeira.
Yeah, they're in a kind of a tough position. They're sitting probably in Detroit waiting to either come here or start their series at home. Of course, no day off tomorrow. Starts right away tomorrow.
Tremendous effort they got from Justin Verlander in the clincher in Oakland, John.
Yeah, you could almost see a game like that where it's lined up. Don't need a closer. Don't care what the score is.
Grounded to short, or in that area. Manny Machado, the third baseman, over there with the shift, makes the play, but you score it 5-3. Well, here's the bracket, and you see the Orioles having to win that wild card game over Texas, and got the Game 5 here. You had the Game 5 in Oakland. In fact, you have Game 5s wherever you look for the first time ever.
Amazing. My bracket's still perfect, though.
Don't even want to hear about that.
It's not even close.
Your bracket, your matrix, as you called it during the regular season. You had it all figured out, John.
I don't think anybody could figure out this year. That's what makes the year so special. A lot of great stories and teams. It's been amazing.
Here's Raul Ibanez. I tell you what, that Game 3 performance, you still just can't get over what you saw from Ibanez to come off the bench, tie it in the 9th, and win it in the 12th. That ball's hit on the button to center, and you saw Adam Jones blow the bubble, which means I got this, except the other night when the ball drifted over his head. 2 down.
Yeah, that's one of those unconscious habits that he's developed over time, almost like sticking your tongue out. It means nothing, but it looks really bad when you don't catch the ball.
Well, see, that bubble was bigger. His other bubble did not have time as he was running faster to actually blow it to the perfect circumference.
2 down for Nick Swisher. 2 out of 15. Over for a strike count, even a ball and a strike.
Explain, if you will, eye black for people at home don't understand the difference of a semi-night game wearing an eye black.
You mean besides just for aesthetic decoration?
Yeah.
It's a function of the sun coming up and reflecting off your cheekbones into your eyes. If you have light color eyes too, we heard about Josh Hamilton with the light color eyes. It makes you squint a little bit more. If you put the eye black on, it stops that reflection, and it makes your eyes relax a little bit. They've got patches. They've got other things. We used to use cork, where you burnt the end of a cork and then use the ash to kind of do that. That doesn't make your skin feel too well, though, but it still works. This is the perfect weather for one of those in-between games, in my opinion. The twilight, not the game, the in the shadows sort of game. You need to have just regular light. A slight overcast allows you to have everything balanced. You don't want the sun being out there in center field and you being in the shade.
The 2-2, strike 3 gets away, and Peters throws down to Reynolds to complete the strikeout. Scoreless as we head to the third at Yankee Stadium. Orioles and Yankees fans follow their teams with the Team Stream app. Download Team Stream, choose your teams, and you're set. Get Team Stream from Bleacher Report today. Also on Bleacher Report, analysis of the ALDS from Cal Ripken, John Smoltz. Here's Mark Reynolds to lead off the third. And he takes outside 1-0. Reynolds, who homered 7 times against the Yankees in the regular season, yet to connect in this series.
Talked about the ideal hitting conditions. It's not looking like the ideal hitting conditions in the first couple innings so far. Pitchers are having their way again.
Sabathia with the 2-0 to Reynolds. That's over for a strike. Orioles hitting 197 for the series. The Yankees 216. On base percentage 238 for the Orioles, 280 for the Yankees.
Maybe they need the shadows. Let's make it harder.
Three balls and a strike to Mark Reynolds, leading off the Orioles third.
Well, already this has been a better at bat for Mark Reynolds. He hasn't swung the bat yet and got the count in favorable 3-1. Now, can he have the patience to not expand the zone from here on out?
You know, there's an interesting distinction. You know, some people think that you wait, to see if it's a strike and then you hit, but you actually go to hit and wait until you see it as a ball to try to hold up. So you're aggressively selective. If you wait really long till the ball says it's going to be a strike, you've waited too long.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Sabathia to Reynolds. And we'll do it again.
Mark has to protect here. CC's been known to drop a changeup in hitter's counts, and 3-2 certainly is a hitter's count. He threw that changeup to Adam Jones and got him on a strikeout in the first inning. So you want to see the ball, but he throws hard enough where the fastball could be by you. So you want to get a little longer look here. Fastball away.
And Reynolds fouls off another payoff pitch. So, John, when I look at these numbers, and in the regular season, Yankee pitchers rank number 1 in the American League in walks allowed, fewest walks allowed. They've only walked 6 in this series. Would it pay for Oriole hitters to be more patient, or are the Yankee pitchers always around the plate that much? As Reynolds goes down swinging.
That's the reason right there. You do not have to throw strikes in counts that require strikes sometimes. And I think you feast off the aggressiveness of a young team that has got a lot of free swingers. This ball at no point ever started out as a strike. But because you want to hit, and to your point, Cal, I think the trigger is not as comfortable in a regular season game as it is a postseason game. You're more apt to go out and get it and less be able to trust what you can do. Does that mean you give the pitcher too much credit? I don't know. I just think being in the moment, learning, has made it difficult.
Lou Ford is the designated hitter, and he takes a strike.
Well, there's another factor, too. They got good stuff. CC's got good stuff, and they know where they're throwing. This is a good staff overall. And when you do pound the strike zone, and you do get into a situation where CC can drop that breaking ball on you, it looks like a strike just for the brief moment, and you feel you got to get that head out.
Yeah.
And by that time, it's too late.
No, I get all that. I just think we've seen, throughout the series, we've just seen a lot of swings and misses on pitches that are not even close, which adds to the frustration, but helps the pitcher feel comfortable. There's a lot more comfortable counts that a pitcher shouldn't be comfortable in.
Ford takes down low, 2 balls and a strike. He's got a couple of home runs in his career off Sabathia. Came in last night as a pinch runner in the 9th inning and got picked off. Orioles would eventually win that game in 13 to even the series. Here's the 2-1. Ford had a couple of hits off Sabathia in the opener of this series. In fact, when he doubled in the 9th, it kept CC from a complete game as he went 8 2/3.
Back foot's a little bit outside the box. I love it too. You can start out with your foot right on the edge of the line, and as the bat starts to develop, you can start to sneak it back a little bit more. Get a little bit longer look at CC's fastball. I'd wipe that line out though, so you had no reference from where it is.
Full account to the second straight hitter here in the 3rd. In the air, shallow left. Ichiro on. 2 down. Well, here's Robert Andino, the number 9 hitter. Swung a pretty good bat here in the postseason, Cal.
Yeah, he has swung the bat very well. Driven the ball, he's got a lot of power, but he's gotten a number of hits. I think he was 4 for 8 or 4 for 9 in both series. Doesn't seem to be affected so much. He plays on a little bit more motion. Good fastball hitter, and pretty patient at the plate.
Splitting time at second base with Ryan Flaherty. And Andino in the starting lineup today against the left-hander Sabathia. Here comes the 0-1.
Looked like CC wanted that one. I suppose you'd want it too. Right on the edge of the outside.
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with wanting it. I think that's the desire, is to see how much you can get off the plate.
And Sabathia ahead. A ball and 2 strikes. He has struck out 4 of the 8 hitters he's faced. In the air to right field. Routine for Swisher. 3 up, 3 down for CC again. And for shots like that, that's why you got the blimp. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Bottom half of the third inning. Game 5, Orioles and Yankees. It has come down to this one game in the ALDS for the right to meet the Tigers in the ALCS best of 7. Here's Curtis Granderson.
Well, a game like this, each pitcher would love to have this scenario come out and make a good first impression. Well, CC's definitely done that. 9 up, 9 down, and Mr. Hamill is trying to duplicate that. If this were a fight, it'd be hard to score it anything other than a draw the first couple innings.
1-1 to Granderson, who has struck out 9 times in the series.
John, I've never thought that a pitcher pitched against the other pitcher, but it might be the case here today. If CC keeps throwing up these perfect innings, it's pressure on Hamill to do the same.
That ball is hit well by Granderson, but it'll hang up for Davis. And that's one down.
Well, I can tell you exactly from firsthand experience, you don't start out doing that. You really don't. But the longer the game goes, you start looking at the other guy's impression going, shoot, he's not giving up nothing. I can't give up anything. So, yeah, the longer the game goes, you think about it, but you're focused on their lineup and not creating any kind of, it's almost a game, who's going to pitch out of the stretch first now. Both guys have done a great job.
Here's Russell Martin swinging at the first pitch. And that ball is out of play, 1-1.
That's why I think first impressions are good for your own team and for the other team. Your guys go, hey, he's on today. All right, let's get him one. Let's find a way to scratch one in there.
Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. And John, you've been on pitching staff, and you're one of those guys yourself. You're in the dugout. Your side gets your run or two, and you say, that'll be enough.
Yeah, it's over. That's their feeling, at least.
Adam Jones flags that one down for the second out.
And honestly, sometimes you know it, and sometimes you don't. You just have to fake it. You have to be out there going, hey, I'll get this game in control, and my mannerisms are not going to show you anything different. If they had to hook up a lie detector sometimes to you, you would be in trouble.
We saw Tex chirping about what he saw in the first at bat yesterday. You want that sort of chirping in the other dugout to say, hey, this guy's got his A stuff today.
I used to hate this one saying. When the early first inning guy would come in and go, this guy's got nothing. We're going to kill this guy. And 8 innings later, it's the same zeros.
And I equally hated it when somebody would come back to first at bat and say, this dude's nasty.
No balls and 2 strikes to Eric Chavez, the number 9 hitter playing third base today. Just joining us, Alex Rodriguez, benched by Joe Girardi. To center field, Adam Jones makes that play as well. We are through 3 in the Bronx.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
How about this line score? Nothing to see here. Move on. We're in the top half of the fourth inning. And it's the top of the Oriole lineup. Nate McLouth, who flied out to center his first time, came in hitting .333 in the series and .318 in the 5 postseason games the O's have played. McLouth homered into the seats in right last night. And there was the first hit of the ball game as he goes the other way.
It's really been the first hittable pitch that CC has thrown in any of the counts. He's trying to go away and elevates this ball and makes it easier.
Yeah, fastball away, 0-1 fastball away, a little up over the plate, stays on it and drives it to the opposite field. He had a good swing on the first time, too. First pitch of the game, line drive to center field. He's been swinging the bat well, staying on that pitch. That ought to leave an impression if he comes up in a game situation. He's more than likely going to get a breaking ball.
Here's J.J. Hardy, who takes a strike. The Orioles were last in stolen bases in baseball. McLouth has added a speed element to this team. He stole 12 after coming over from Pittsburgh. Hardy with a fly ball to right. Swisher makes the play as McLouth retreats to first. Let's check in again with Craig Sager. Segs.
Well, the Orioles are well aware of the history and tradition of the Yankees, but Adam Jones says the last thing he needs is turn batting practice into a night at the museum. To help drown out the Jumbotron, constantly celebrating the Yankees' 27 championships, he brought out a boombox to the batting cage. He said, "Hey, this made me feel far more at home, and hopefully it will relax the team."
Adam Jones maybe trying to shake things up a little bit. His postseason has been a struggle with his strikeout in the first inning. Now 2 for 20 in this series. That ball to left center field. Harmless. 2 down.
Well, when you have a situation like this, I know a lot of people at home saying, well, what can the manager do? Can he try and make things happen for his offense? Well, not necessarily. Even if you try some hit and runs when you're swinging and missing, you're very limited and you don't have team speed other than a guy or two. So you're at the mercy, really, of what the pitcher gives you and what the game gives you. Other than that, you got to hope some guys get hot.
It's a set lineup.
Here's Chris Davis, who hit a little tapper in front of the plate and was thrown out by Russell Martin his first time.
And I know Buck is all about approach. He's all about keeping the right frame of mind. He's all about being positive. So he's very sensitive when he steps in to try to help a player. He wants them to focus on what they do normally every day.
McLouth with the lead at first, and there he goes. The throw by Martin late. McLouth with the stolen base, and he's in scoring position with 2 down.
Great jump, and the slider again fooling Davis. By him swinging makes the catcher stay back just a fraction more, so he doesn't get out and deliver the ball to second base in a timely manner. But the sliders that he'll face today will not be the sliders he faced, I believe, in game 1, where he got a couple hits on pitches that rolled over the middle of the plate.
Big swing, came up empty. 1-2. Broke his bat as he stayed alive. And he'll get another one.
If you look at CC's pants, besides the fact that the big man's got those pants, look at the wind. Wind's blowing pretty good. We haven't seen a ball get way up in the air to see what that wind is going to do. With pretty good breeze, which as a pitcher, you want that wind to affect your curveball and slider. Sometimes the wind that is at your back is not exactly going to be advantageous for that pitch.
Davis waiting on a 1-2 from Sabathia.
Now I'll say this, the wind at your back means a good thing for your pitcher because it's harder to drive the ball out of the field, but it does come into play. Weather like this, grip, everything you're trying to do. Everybody would like ideal weather circumstances, but it is what it is, and you adjust accordingly.
Well, I know knuckleballers, R.A. Dickey, would benefit from the wind blowing in his face to make the knuckleball move more. But it really affects a pitcher with conventional stuff?
Yes. Yes.
In the air to center field, and Granderson on the run. And he makes the play just shy of the track for the third out.
That ball.
If you thought you knew what Cougar Town was about, then your thinking is all the wrong thinking. It's about friends and wine, just not in that order. A brand new season of Cougar Town begins on a brand new network this January on TBS.
Huh. Thought that was about the BYU football team, or it's not.
No, your thinking is the wrong thinking.
Oh, okay. So I'm just like most of the other people.
No, you're not.
Okay.
Derek Jeter leads it off in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Caught looking his first time by Orioles starter Jason Hamill. Look out in the seats behind the dugout, 0-1. Hamill with 2 strikeouts through the first 3. He got Jeter and he got Swisher. Manning's ahead of the Yankee captain, 0-2.
You don't see Derek go walk away from the plate too many times with a little disrespect for the umpire. That's what he's thinking right there. That's not a strike either.
But unlike most of the guys who have gotten 2 strikes on him, and it's been almost you're done, Jeter's not done with 2 strikes typically. He's got 4 2-strike hits. Baltimore as a team has 5.
Jeter leading the team with 8 base hits in this series. Of course, he led Major League Baseball with 216, which was just 3 shy of his career high of 219. This came back when he was just a 25-year-old. And he has struck out for the 2nd time this afternoon. Moments ago, we spoke with Orioles manager Buck Showalter. Your 6th postseason game and your 3rd elimination game. You guys have been through it twice.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me about that, Art.
Yeah, still standing. Did you have a message to the guys, or what was your sense of how they approached this game?
No, these are guys that don't take anything for granted. They don't want Captain Obvious as their manager, okay? And so the last thing you want to do is have them look at that. That really shows a sign of distrust. And this is a club that's been easy to trust, and they know the task ahead of them. It won't be easy, but it won't be from lack of effort.
Hey, Buck, not a lot of hits in the first 4 innings, but to me, it looks like they're having a little bit better at bats.
A little bit. I think it's a given certain things when you're facing a guy like Sabathia. And the key to our ability to compete in this game is going to be our pitching, because it's more than likely going to be a low scoring. CC doesn't give up too much, but if we get an opportunity, we got to take advantage of it.
Our thanks to Buck Showalter for his time as Ichiro fouls it over there toward the Yankee dugout. Talks about low scoring games and runs have been at a premium. For the Yankees, their last 5 home postseason games, including today, total of just 9 runs. That's tapped to second, and that's an easy out. And Dino to Reynolds for the 2nd out here in the 4th. What's amazing to me, too, guys, when we look at how close the season series has been, this series is really just a reflection of the way things went the last month of the year, of the season, because 10 times the Orioles caught the Yankees in the standings, never could pass them. Here in this series, Yankees win the opener, Orioles come back. Yankees win game 3, Orioles come back. Is this the day that Baltimore catches and passes the New York Yankees? That's one of the storylines here today.
Psychologically, the Yankees held on to that, wouldn't allow the Orioles to pass them. And, that sits in the back of your mind. They have the advantage.
Even talked, to Joe Girardi as this series began. Does that have any kind of an impact psychologically on a team? And he said, I think it does kind of. It's a point of pride to an extent to say, yeah, we were in a battle with these guys, but we never gave up at least a share of the lead.
You saw right there, see number 2 on the pitch tracks, expanded strike zone. People don't understand what a count does, and when it changes and expands the strike zone for a hitter. And a big result of that swing right there might have been that previous call that was out there, called a strike, and our pitch tracks has it a ball.
Yeah, called pitches that you don't think are strikes really affects how you approach the next one. You saw Derek swinging a breaking ball down after he thought a couple pitches were called low. That's the reaction that happens. All of a sudden you don't feel so confident anymore taking that pitch, and then you will expand it down, and you're muttering to yourself as you go to the dugout, you made me swing at that.
Well, so far, not only has each pitcher been on their game, each pitcher has had their curveball really, really in tune, and that's a great sign coming out the gate. You want all your pitches. You don't necessarily want to show the hitter all your pitches, but when you have the touch to go to that, man, what a luxury.
Hamill is ahead 1-2. Upstairs, count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Scoreless here in the 4th of game 5. A series in which the last 3 games have been decided by 1 run. And there is strike 3 called to Robinson Cano. 1 for 28 in the last 9 innings for the Pinstripes. How about that postcard for you? Dinner time in New York, a little after 6 o'clock. Game 5 of the ALDS between the Orioles and the Yankees. Just 1 hit in the ball game. It belongs to Baltimore, and Matt Wieters leads it off in the 5th. Wieters 2 out of 17 coming in, and was called out on strikes in the 2nd. You talk about a couple of pitchers dialed in a critical game 5. CC and Hamill. Two balls and 1 strike to Wieters.
You know, we take for granted when you're on a mound and it's all nice and fresh. Look at that landing area. Well, the reason that comes into play, you've got 2 big guys. So their landing area is generally in the same area, and they throw from the same side of the mound. Even though one starts from the right side, he moves his foot over. So in a game like this, you're hoping that you can put and make your implant on where you land and not have somebody else affect it. This is where CC lands. We'll get a chance to see where Jason lands when he pitches the next inning. But little in and outs of the game that you don't really pay attention to, but a pitcher sure does.
And there is a leadoff walk in the 5th to Matt Wieters. Moments ago, we spoke with Yankees skipper Joe Girardi. All right, Joe, at this point in this game, you're still looking for that first hit, and I know you've had guys struggling. How difficult was it to sit A-Rod down today?
It's a difficult decision. You know, it's one of those tough decisions that a manager has to make. He's meant a ton to our organization. He was a huge part of our success in the playoffs in 2009. but you know, I had to make a decision today, and it was tough.
Hey, Joe, you fought for home field advantage. You got it so you could have CC in game 1, possibly game 5. Can't ask for your horse to start out any better than he has.
No, you have 2 guys throwing extremely well, and runs have been at a premium in this series, and we're going to have to find a way to scratch a couple.
Thanks to Joe Girardi for joining us in between innings. Matt Wieters with a lead at first. Manny Machado at the plate waiting on an 0-1. Count even. A ball and a strike. Machado struck out his first times. Sabathia has struck out 4 and walked 1 and has allowed 1 Baltimore hit. In the air, shallow center. Cano back and makes the play. Wieters retreats, 1 down.
Tell you what, there's some great second basemen in our league. This guy gets a jump as good as anybody when he makes these over the shoulder, and this one's not over the shoulder, but he read it right away, Cal, as soon as it was off the bat.
Yeah, many times you're thinking as a middle infielder, I'm going to go lateral because you got to cover ground to your left and right. And sometimes it's difficult to go back. Robinson Cano does that as well as anybody in the game.
What was the toughest play you had to make?
The slow hit ball in the hole. So the one that the third baseman can't cut off, and I have to come over on. I was big. I couldn't run around it and round it, so I had to spear it on the backhand and then try to make up the difference with the thrown arm.
That ball bounced up the middle. Cano takes it himself, and there's the double play. Who will become a legend this October? Cast your postseason vote at MLBFanCave.com. Now we're moving to the bottom half of the 5th inning. And Mark Teixeira leads it off for New York. He grounded out to Machado his first time, and the shift is on once again. Machado, the third baseman, basically occupying the shortstop position.
Yeah, if you want to get a look at what it would look like to have Machado play shortstop, because he is a shortstop that moved to third base, this is your chance.
He is the shortstop of the future as Teixeira loops one over first, but foul. And Tex wants a new bat.
I want you to see Jason Hamill. We talked about CC Sabathia on the mound. Jason puts his right foot on the right side of the rubber, third base side of the rubber, and then slides it, which is a big movement over to the first base side of the rubber. CC already starts his foot angled, so it's a little slide move that rarely you see. So you watch him start out, and then he goes all the way over to the first base side to create that angle. Starts there, and then a big movement over.
Up the corner, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
To me, this is a lot of movement, but he's been doing it consistency, and you can see where he lands just a little bit on the other side of where CC lands.
Hamill working quickly, and there is the first Yankee hit. And it comes here in the 5th. Teixeira found an opening over the shift.
This is like playing prevent defense in the NFL with the guy. He's got to get this ball way over the second baseman's head and just in front of the outfielder.
His uppercut swing generated a top spin, so he went over the Andino's head and sunk before to the right fielder. I'm sure he wanted to hit that in the upper deck, though.
Here's the guy who stole all the headlines after Game 3 with his dramatic 9th and 12th inning home runs, Raul Ibanez.
Once again, they're not holding on to Teixeira. No fear of him taking off to second base. First baseman's playing back. He's getting a pretty good lead. Nonetheless, they're not fearing him.
And there he goes. And Wieters with the throw. It's late. Teixeira swiped it.
I used to hate that. I used to hate anybody getting that big a lead. You could see him crawling. Now what that does as a pitcher is you know you don't look over there because you're not going to throw. The guy's behind him, and you really have to be careful with your timing. Teixeira took advantage of it.
They haven't been taking chances on either side, and that was really the first chance. You could see Mark looking over, had a little bit of a walking lead. A walking lead will give you a little momentum and have you coasting before you make your first move.
And a good pitch to run on. The breaking pitch from Hamill, and Teixeira swiped it, so he's in scoring position with nobody out. And Ibanez waiting on a 1-1. This was the 12th inning of Game 3. The game winner for Ibanez. After that game, the reporters were asking Nate McLeod of the Orioles if he had gone back to the hotel and watched the highlights on TV, and McLeod said, look, my wife is on the trip with me, and when the TV's on, it's not sports. So unless they were showing the highlights on the Food Channel, I wasn't going to see it.
I just noticed in that replay, a couple of the Yankees had to save the umpire from getting hit in the head with that helmet toss.
1-2 to Ibanez. Pops it up. Will it stay in? No, it's a couple of rows back as Wieters gave it a look.
That stolen base is really big. You get to second base with no outs. Now Ibanez can pull a ball to the right side of the infield and advance them to third base to give them their best chance to knock in a run.
Teixeira leads from second. Ibanez waiting. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That was Teixeira's first postseason stolen base. So you better hold him on next time.
And it comes in a scoreless game. 5th inning. Game 5. Winner moves on. Loser goes home. Hamill did not allow a hit through the first 4 innings. Teixeira reached here in the 5th. He leads from second. And the breaking pitch misses. Full count to Ibanez.
Big cross-up right there. Looked like Matt Wieters was expecting a fastball.
What's interesting here is Matt Wieters did not go out to talk to him, so maybe it could have been his bad. Highly doubt it, but normally they go have a conversation.
The 3-2. Past second base, into right field, base hit, and the Yankees have the lead.
There's a 3-2 breaking ball, and Raul gets him over and gets him in. Hard, sharp ground ball, and Dino can't make a diving play on. And that stolen base was big. Scores the Yankees' first run.
Curveball actually backed up away. It's supposed to come back in towards his hands, allowed him to get the ball back up the middle. A little delay with the umpire trainers coming out.
It looks like Mike Everett over there near the Yankee dugout being attended to.
Cut on his ear. Pretty good cut.
He says he's ready to go with Ibanez at first and nobody out. And the Yankees breaking on top here in the 5th, 1-0.
Emotion in any postseason game is big, but in Game 5 it's even bigger. Keeping him in check, knowing that one run, keeping it at single run, no crooked numbers, what we talked about. That's his challenge before him right now.
Swisher, who struck out his first time, waves at that. 1-1. He's 2 out of 16 in the series. Hamill sailed through the first 4, running into trouble here in the 5th. To short. 6, 4, 3 double play.
A lot of things are huge. I'm going to say that is a huge moment for Jason Hamill. First time you get out of the stretch, you give up a runner on first, nobody out. You get the hitter to jam himself and hit it to shortstop. Taylor made double play. This is what the Orioles, I'm amazed. I know I'm not supposed to be in the Game 5, but this is what the heartbeat of those pitchers. I think you could say Tums or Alcacel, they're just, maybe they're numb. Maybe it's numb.
Granderson swings at the first pitch and fouls it back.
But each time they've had to face a situation like this, they've gotten out of it. They've done a great job. The 9th inning was the only time where you see things unraveling really quick.
9th inning of Game 1, exactly.
Right.
And we've seen it since the wild card game. When they need a double play, they've gotten it. Got a big one last night when McLouth made the catch against the wall and doubled off Russell Martin. And after back-to-back hits here, yeah, the Yankees have scored, but a double play cleared the bases. And Granderson going to the gap. Base hit. Just his 2nd hit of the series. Third hit of the inning for the Yankees.
Yeah, you talk about the defense for the Orioles as we watch Curtis Granderson hit this breaking ball. Really one of the best swings he's had off a breaking ball in this series. Didn't bounce it. And speaking about the defense, though, the Orioles became a much better team. We've talked about this before when Manny Machado came into third base. Reynolds played first base every day, and that really solidified their defense.
Here's Russell Martin. Takes down low 1-0.
Early on, a lot of errors out of that position, and they were last in the major league in fielding percentage. But since August 9th, they are first. He gets a lot of the credit, and so does he.
And Reynolds has made some sterling plays around the bag at first in this series. Granderson gets back.
I know Granderson had 43 home runs and he's turned into a home run hitter. I'm just surprised he only had 10 stolen bases on the year. This is a guy that can steal. I would look for him to be aggressive here with 2 outs. It looked like right there the throw over kind of got him crossed up. Might have had an inkling to try to go.
Two balls, no strikes to Martin.
Matt Wieters throws really well behind the plate, and the Orioles have cut down a good percentage of their base stealers, roughly about 38%, which puts them right up there in the top of the league. But this is a good chance to take a chance.
We saw it earlier this inning when Mark Teixeira, not being held, stole second base, came around to score. And it was Raul Ibanez who knocked him in. Look at the Yankees offensive production, and now it's 3 of the last 4 runs knocked in by Raul Ibanez. The 2 long balls and the base hit here in the 5th. Granderson on the move. The throw by Wieters will be late.
That's a tough pitch to handle. It was down away. See him look back in. Great release, but all he could do was make it close. This pitch was down. He has to reach for it. And a good jump by Granderson.
So with 2 down, a runner in scoring position, and Martin tried to hold up, couldn't. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Martin waiting on a 3-2 from Hamill. In the air to center field, easy for Adam Jones. But the Yankees score the game's first run. Mark Teixeira with a single and a stolen base. And Raul Ibanez knocks him in. 1-0. Well, that's a masterpiece. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Friday evening in New York. Site of Game 5 of the ALDS between the Orioles and the Yankees. New York breaking on top in the 5th, 1-0. And CC Sabathia goes to work here in the 6th against the Orioles DH Lou Ford. Ford flat out to left his first time. Ball and a strike. We showed you Mike Everett having to be attended to earlier. This is what happened in the Ibanez at bat. Foul ball that caught him on the right ear. It's kind of a cool, crisp night here. You know how much it hurts, John, if somebody on a cold day just comes up and flicks you in the ear from behind. You do that to a lot of people just to be annoying, and you can imagine what that felt like, that foul ball that clipped him.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Here comes the 2-1. Teixeira stuck with that play for the first out. What do you say we check in Atlanta with Matt Weiner? Thank you, Matt. Yeah, what a doubleheader we got for you here on TBS on this Friday night. A pair of Game 5s. And a lot of fans out there, especially in the Baltimore and Washington area, envisioning the possibility of an Orioles-Nats World Series. Here are both teams in a Game 5 in the DS. Here's Robert Andino, who waits on an 0-1. Upstairs and the count even.
There's certainly a lot of excitement in the Baltimore-Washington area for baseball right now. It's been a while for both franchises. It's good to see everyone excited over baseball.
First time the Orioles have been in the postseason since 1997. Trying to earn their way to the American League Championship Series against the Tigers.
Well, CeCe's on the mound. He knows what Verlander did last night in a must-win game elimination. And I think you look at that number when the team gives him a run. I think he's got visions of trying to see it and finish it himself and go 9. That's not a better feeling for a starter if you can start it and then finish it.
The 1-2 to Andino stays alive. So there is something to that, you're saying, John. Then you see one of your contemporaries. You see a guy who's regarded as possibly the best pitcher in the game. And you say, you know what, I'm that guy on this team, and I'm going to do the same thing he did.
Absolutely.
That's not just media stuff. That's actual mindset stuff.
Yeah, you feel it. I mean, you want to be the reason that they're going on to the next level, just like he was the reason.
1-2 bounced up there, count even to Robert Andino, who flied out to right his first time.
And he may have struggled early on in his postseason career, just kind of like Verlander did. And now it's been, you put him in a position to win a game, you fear these guys. CeCe's been really good with the Yankees since he got here.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes.
At Yankee Stadium, he's 3-1 with a 2.12 ERA.
Yeah, with Cleveland and what was it, Milwaukee, he might have been a little too amped up, you know, learning to control his own emotions in postseason. But he's been a rock with the Yankees.
The 3-2 in the air to right. Swisher drifting back. 2 up and 2 down in the 6th.
Yeah, it was a little unfair to judge him with Milwaukee because he pitched on, what was it, 2 days rest every other day? I
mean, I thought he was pitching every day.
I mean, he basically put them on their back and said, let's go, when they made a trade for him. And he did lift up Tiny Prince Fielder and make it look like it was nothing.
Sabathia has allowed only 1 hit in this game, and it came against this guy, Nate McLeod, the leadoff hitter. He singled in the 4th, stole a base, but was stranded at second.
It's one of the first signs of actually trying to do something else to jumpstart the offense. Maybe drop a bunt down, make the infield come in. I suspected we might have seen a little more of that to this point.
Missed with the 0-1 count even.
And this is from a guy that's swinging the bat well, not from a guy that's not.
And I've always said, if you know you're going to take, why not try it? I mean, not to put it down, but just fake like you're doing it. And that could have been the situation too. When you know you're taking, just square around, change the mindset of the team, even if you never intended to do it.
1-1 up and in. 2 balls and a strike to McLeod.
That was a pitch that said, don't get too comfortable diving out over the outside corner. I want to keep you honest.
And McLeod ahead in the count, 3 balls and a strike. He flied out to center in the 1st, had that leadoff single in the 4th. J.J. Hardy waits on deck.
All right, does he throw a fastball? Does he challenge him here? Had 2 good swings on the fastball. First 2 at bats. 3-1 count. Fastball, John?
I think he does.
That ball's in the air to right. It's along the line. Fair or foul? That is a foul ball. We had to wait. Field and Culberth is on the line. In right, Buck Showalter wants to make sure.
Man, that from up here where we are, that was very close. Hard to tell from up here. I thought it was fair, but wow.
It looks foul to me. Sometimes you see if the ball disappears when you have an angle looking at the pole. I used to do that from shortstop down to third baseline. Here comes the ball. Can you see it all the way through?
I think at this point it's already over the foul pole, isn't it?
Yeah.
The umpires are going to gather now on the infield grass.
Unless it nicked the pole, it's foul.
Let's see if we're going to have a review here or not.
Everything here is going to be determined on the angles that they get to see, the camera angles.
I think the ones that we've seen
look foul. Whether or not it skipped or ticked the foul pole is the only question, I think.
Yeah, that's the point that you made, Cal. When we blew that up to say, did it nick the pole by chance? We'll see if it changes direction. Hard to tell there.
Passes in front of the pole. Almost looks like it had a little nick. Depends upon what you're looking for.
That will be.
That does look.
And here's where that argument is about where the umpire's positioning is. You know, the umpire says I can't be that far down the line so I can see that. But I would argue that there's 2 other umpires, the home plate umpire and the umpire at first base, that has that angle on the ball. I would like to see the umpire being down there close that maybe he could see it, if it nicked off or not. So maybe it's a different view. That was quick, though.
me if he throw a fastball in that situation. If you ask me again, I think he throw a slider. Now
he'll change the pitch. And you could hear from the crowd reaction that the ruling foul ball will stand. Buck Showalter still wanting some clarification from Mike Everett.
Foul ball.
No question it was on the other side of the pole. The question was, did it possibly nick that pole on the way by? Man, when I see that, it looks... It's going to stay a foul ball, but I might be like Buck Showalter. I want another opinion. Here comes the 3-2. And McLeod goes down swinging. That ends the 6th inning. We move to the bottom half of the 6th inning in Game 5 at Yankee Stadium. And New York leads it 1-0. Eric Chavez leading it off. Fly out to center in the 3rd. And the count 1-1. He's 0 for 6 in the series, starting at third base tonight for Alex Rodriguez, who was benched by Joe Girardi. Three hits for the Yankees, all came in the 5th inning. Teixeira with a single and a stolen base. Ibanez knocked him in. Granderson later singled and stole a base, but was stranded at second. And Chavez goes down swinging here in the 6th. Now, we looked at a million different angles of that shot by Nate McLeod. Here it is from the blimp. And you can certainly see it is behind the pole. The only question we had from looking at a few of those replays was if it possibly ticked the pole on the way by. The umpires reviewed it. They said foul ball. McLouth struck out, and we moved on to the 6th.
We had a good reaction from the Orioles dugout watching that down the line. They have a pretty good angle, not an exact one down the line, but it's shooting, and they were certainly optimistic. They were hoping it was going to be fair all the way.
Yeah, the first reaction I saw was from Nick Swisher playing right field for the Yankees, who immediately signaled foul ball. To the surprise of no one here at Yankee Stadium.
It's like a fumble. Everybody says they've got it, right? It's like the opposite teams going to get those two reactions. Well, if you're the Orioles in a Game 5 situation, you just wanted to have a chance. Ideally, you want to be way ahead and a no-brainer, but here in the bottom of the 6th, you put your team in a 1-run deficit. You've got a great chance to compete in this game and still win the series. Can't ask for anything more.
Jeter has struck out twice, swinging and looking.
It would be a big relief for the Orioles if that ball is fair. All of a sudden it brings them back even 1-1. Now you're not thinking you only have 9 more outs, but that's the reality. The game is getting towards that end, and you got to figure out how to get even.
It's amazing. The game goes longer. That 1-run deficit looks like a 3-run deficit when a pitcher has on his game. But when you think you can get to a pitcher, it's reachable. That's why the add-on runs late are so big that people don't realize. When you're on the mound and you're on the receiving end of a 1-0 lead and your team gets you 1 run in the 8th or 7th, you're like, wow.
It's like the run they got off Pettit the other night in Game 2 when he was so mad at himself walking off the mound, and it turned out to be huge. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jeter.
Gives you some breathing room defensively too. That extra run gives you some breathing room.
Yep.
But defensively makes you relax as well.
That missed. 3 balls and 2 strikes. You saw the shot of Mariano Rivera with the hoodie on in the dugout. And remember in postseasons past, John, when you had a lead of 1 or 2 and you had that guy coming on in the 9th.
No,
forget
the 9th. He had 1 more inning. In some cases, he's going to pitch the 8th and the 9th. You played a much shorter game when you were playing the Yankees. You feared what he was more than anybody in baseball.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Ball 4 to Jeter. A 1-out walk here in the 6th. And for Hamill, his first walk of the night.
I know the sad part for when you make this statement in 1996, he was the setup guy. And when he got out of the game, you actually thought you had a chance against their closer. And he was pretty good too, John Whitland. But you could see it coming. You know, you could see that he was going to be this kind of guy the rest of his career.
You had to bring up 96 again, didn't you?
It wasn't intentional.
Ichiro to the gap. That ball well hit and off the wall. Jeter is around third. They will wave him. And the Yankees are on top 2-0.
This ball was charged to right center field. Ichiro's got some power. Line drive up the right center field wall. Caroms right to Adam Jones. But with Derek Jeter running, no signs of that bone bruise, by the way. There's no chance at home plate.
Ichiro was 4 for 22 with a couple RBIs before he stung that one off the wall. And now the Yankee lead 2-0.
I didn't see the pitch, John. Was that a fastball, tailing fastball?
Fastball. It wasn't a terrible pitch. He just almost looked like Ichiro made up his mind that he was going to ambush him on a fastball. Catcher sets up away. Probably caught more plate, obviously, than you want to, but not the end of the world in the lower right quadrant.
And Jeter obviously read it well, knew that ball wasn't going to be caught, never broke stride, and scored the game's second run. Left-hander Troy Patton getting loose in the Orioles bullpen as Robinson Cano steps in. Cano is 0 for 2 and 2 for 20 in the series.
Now, obviously, they're going to be careful here with a base open. They also have to be careful that Ichiro doesn't keep getting a bigger lead. He did try to steal third base in the first inning of Game 1 that ultimately kept the first inning to 1 run, but he's expanded his lead a few feet each time.
That's a sizable lead.
And obviously, what you don't want to do as a pitcher is have get your sign, look back, go home, and the same type timing. You got to look back a couple times, change so that the runner does not see the same pattern, and then as soon as he sees the back of your cap, he takes off and gets a big jump.
And kick me into what J.J. Hardy is doing here. You're trying to keep Ichiro close to the bag.
Yeah, your pickoff is your best weapon, not bluffing. Bluffing, that kind of works in amateur ball, where the guy yells back from third base. In the big leagues, if you have the ability to execute a pickoff play and the runner knows it, that's your best defense against anyone stealing.
And you have a couple options. Daylight, when you go based on when the shortstop or second baseman flashes his glove, or a called play. Sometimes the catcher will drop his glove. You're looking in, you spin and turn, and everybody relies on that timing. I used to hate daylight. That was going to cause me to balk for whatever reason. I like to call play.
Yeah, I used to have a sign with Mike Boddicker where I point my finger at my eye to say the daylight is on here, so you would warn him so you wouldn't surprise him.
Fouled back by Cano. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's almost as if to say, watch me. Don't do anything. Watch me. You're not throwing the ball to home plate on this. Just watch me, time me.
Cano settling into the box.
This would be a good time to put something on. 2-2 count.
And Cano called out on strikes. He thought it was upstairs.
Well, top of the zone strike. I can see why he might have initially been a little upset. This ball's up above the belt. Rarely gets called.
Now with the base open, they'll put Teixeira on.
Always felt the old strike zone, that was part of it.
The high strike zone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind the high or low. I think you can have a competitive swing at the high or low. I didn't like maybe the reputation that you Braves had over the
in and
years.
out.
That ball was about 6 or 8 inches outside. You can't hit that.
And with Troy Patton getting loose, the left-hander in the bullpen, that's the move that Buck Showalter is going to make, with left hand hitting Raul Ibanez ready to step in. So Hamill pitching into the 6th. Leaves with 2 on and 2 out, and a second Yankee run in. down the right field line was fair or foul, so you know exactly where we'd find Craig Sager. Craig, what you got?
Well, EJ, the debate continues. This is a ball. Steve Ellis, it actually ricocheted off his head. He got the ball. I cannot detect any yellow paint on it. However, the usher at the top of 207 said the ball did barely nick the foul pole. But with all these Yankee fans here, was it fair or foul? Well, I don't know if it's conclusive evidence, but they say foul ball. There you go, Steve.
Yeah, it's not exactly a scientific survey, but entertaining nonetheless.
Although one person said it actually nicked.
The usher. Here's Ibanez with runners at first and second and 2 out. And Troy Patton delivers outside. Again, that look at McLouth's towering shot to right, ruled foul in the top half of the 6th. Yankees have tacked another one on here in the 6th and trying to do further damage with Raul Ibanez, who knocked in the first run in the 5th.
These are the situations that get tougher and tougher to keep getting out of. Obviously, in a game 5, Patton is trying to get out a guy who just a few days ago had a historic night.
And part of that historic night, obviously, John, was the game-winning homer that did come off a tough lefty in Brian Mattis.
Yeah, and it was the first one that Mattis had given up. And I think the one thing that you got to remind yourself is not give the guy too much credit. I mean, that's the tendency when you come in. I got to make a perfect pitch because he's hit 2 home runs or he's got a base hit today. That's the tough part of coming in the game.
Runners lead from first and second with 2 out. Ibanez with a bullet foul.
Here's a bullet, just barely foul. Ibanez is locked in. No doubt about it. Your confidence is way high. You come in a ball game the other day, take 2 swings, hit 2 home runs. He is locked in. I know you don't want to give him too much credit, but you got to make a pitch here to get him out.
We got a guy in the on-deck circle who's really been struggling too, in Nick Swisher. And Ibanez goes down swinging. And the Yankees add to the lead. Ichiro on a line off the wall. Jeter makes it 2-0. Monday on TBS. There's nothing more American than baseball and 6'4" redheaded comedians. Don't miss an all-new Conan Monday at 11, 10 Central, only on TBS. Very funny. Top half of the 7th inning. J.J. Hardy leads it off against C.C. Sabathia, who works now with a 2-0 lead.
He's been as advertised. Only one hit. No real tense moment other than that long fly ball that was ruled foul. And he came back and struck out McLeod after that.
Two balls, no strikes to Hardy.
Only one run that inning, but that was a little bit longer sit on the bench for CC.
That's over. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Yankees. No runs, 1 hit for Baltimore.
In a long inning, did you run out there a little faster? You know you got 2.5 minutes or so in between innings. You go out there to get a few more warm-ups in?
Yeah, it definitely, if there was some time spent on the bench, you want to get refreshed.
On the ground to second. Cano had him play perfectly. 1 down. Well, we've talked about the struggles many of the Yankees have had at the plate. Orioles aren't immune to that either.
Well, you always want to get here. You can't wait for the moment. And then sometimes the moment teaches you some lessons and puts you in some funks, and hopefully they get a chance to change those numbers and play on not only this year but beyond, because you don't want that to be the last impression.
It's a learning opportunity for sure, but you also look across the other dugout. Those guys have been doing it for a while, and many of them can't find a way to get themselves going. So it is a high pressure environment. The learning is, how do I play in that environment?
The 0-1 to Adam Jones. And Sabathia ahead 0-2. And how does it differ, Cal, when you're the guy, when you're dependent on, when you're the guy who's been driving in runs, hitting home runs, being a guy that is the central figure in your offense, when it starts going south?
I think you need to keep things in perspective. The other team, is going to pitch you tougher than they do in the regular season. So many times it's the other guys in the lineup that are the heroes. So again, you have to be willing to take the walk. You can't try to do too much.
Sabathia made Jones look bad. 3 pitches, 2 outs.
Yeah, and he's had everything he wants to have working for him. His command of the fastball pretty good tonight, but the curveball and the slider and his changeup, as we've seen all series, have given these hitters trouble. They have a hard time staying back. They have a hard time recognizing strikes right now, and the pitchers are taking advantage of it.
Chris Davis in the air to center. Randerson on a quick 1-2-3 inning for Sabathia as we stretch in New York. Seventh inning stretch at Yankee Stadium. Game 5, Orioles and Yankees. We talked about this as we came on the air. John, CC Sabathia, this is the reason you've got a guy like this. He starts game 1, goes 8 2/3, basically untouchable here so far in game 5.
Yeah, no stress. He's throwing strikes, feeding off a team that's struggling. The team that's struggling hasn't done anything to change anything. Hasn't been on the stretch that much. Really, this is what you ask for your horse, and he has a chance, like the Orioles, to wipe everything clean. All the struggles that have happened in this series all go away next series.
And the Yankees doing just enough offensively against Jason Hamill, who was solid again before being relieved. They've got 2 runs off.
Well, this is 2 teams that don't really make things happen. You didn't see them dropping a bunt down, but we did see Mark Teixeira take off to steal second base, which changed everything, got to second base and scored. So, yeah, the Orioles are where they kind of want to be. They're close. But if they don't score, they can't win.
The Detroit Tigers are waiting for the winner of this game 5. Tigers don't know exactly right now where they're going to be. If the Orioles come back and win this game, the Tigers open up at home. If the Yankees win this game, they host game 1 of the ALCS tomorrow right here at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, they'd have to get on a plane tonight, you would imagine.
I would prefer tonight, I think, than trying to fly in on game day.
Yeah.
But that's just me, Joe.
To each their own.
So we go to work here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Yankees with a 2-0 lead. Their runs came, one of them in the 5th. And you heard Cal reference the stolen base by Mark Teixeira. He singled to lead off the 5th, stole second, scored on the single by Raul Ibanez. And then in the 6th, after Eric Chavez struck out to start the inning, Derek Jeter walked, and Ichiro hit a bullet off the wall in right center field and scored Jeter to make it 2-0. And Nick Swisher will lead it off in the bottom half of the 7th. 2 out of 17 in the series. Grounded into a double play in the 5th after striking out in the 2nd. And he will turn around and bat right-handed against Troy Patton. Patton came on in the 6th in relief of Hamill and struck out Raul Ibanez with 2 on.
Yes, he did.
And quickly, Patton jumps ahead 0-2.
It's really unusual to see Nick be jumpy like that. The check swing on the first one, sort of the wild pitch. He, too, is trying to find something we can get going. Little nick off the bat. Matt Wieters catches it right on the shin or the instep. Probably right in between one of those pads.
Patton to the plate. Strike 3 call to Swisher.
Well, watch the glove and watch where the ball goes. Pretty close. Where a catcher sets up and where the umpire is. You go by where the movement laterally, if there is any. And he was pretty close to that general area where Wieters wanted it.
8th strikeout by Oriole pitching. And here's Granderson, who picked up his second hit of the series in the 5th.
If my scorecard's correct, out of those 8 strikeouts, 4 of them are called.
That would be correct, Mr. Ripken.
Thank you.
Don't check on Johns, though, for verification.
It's actually perfect at this point.
That bat went into a million pieces.
As a hitter, I always thought about that. Is the pitching really making that good of pitches, you know, to get called out this many times? Or does the umpire have a little bit bigger strike zone than normal?
Right off the end of the bat, and that's a pretty good amount of kindling.
So you can see Granderson has a cup on the end of his bat too. So when the ball does hit on the end, it just frays.
2 balls and a strike to the Yankee center fielder, who launches one to right, deep and gone. Granderson, who hit 43 home runs in the regular season, connects for the first time in this series, and it's 3-0.
It seems like it only takes one at bat for Curtis. Getting that base hit, we saw that earlier in the month of September. When he finds it, he finds it. And this ball is driven to the second deck. No doubt about it.
Now here's Russell Martin, who takes a strike. So Granderson, who came into this game 1 for 16, 0-63 for the series, is 2 out of 3. And the solo homer, making it 3-0 New York. Another look.
Now this one was a hanger. And he knows what to do with that. They have not been throwing him many pitches like that. Lasting impression can be everything. Like I said, you can erase a lot of things, winning this game and moving on. Either team that does it, you get a chance to pick each other up.
Have not been many smiles for Curtis Granderson offensively in this series, but there's one here in the 7th. Had good swings the last couple of bats. Full count now to Martin.
I'm always amazed at Curtis. He has a good frame of mind. He strikes out a lot. He sees that just as an out, and he stays after it, and when he finds it, he gets hot.
On the ground, Machado with the strong arm, 2 down.
It's sort of an obvious comment that Curtis has power, but when you stand around him, he's not a physically big guy. He's built more for speed, but he certainly can put a charge in the ball.
Eric Chavez takes a strike, 0-1.
And the one thing, he's not going to hit many home runs the other way. Most of his home runs are going to be in that right field. He's dead cold, likes to pull the ball, gets in that little crouch, sees that one area and lifts it over the right field fence. And if you make pitches like they have been all series, there's certainly a lot of 59-foot, 58-foot curveballs and sliders. It's been tough.
There's CC Sabathia, who watches the New York lead grow to 3-0.
An adage in baseball that if very rarely will solo home runs beat you. All the home runs in this series have been solo. Baltimore's hit 3, New York's hit 4. But in this case, with CC doing what he's doing and only giving up 1 hit so far, 1 solo might be enough. And they have 3-0 lead.
The 0-2. Down the line and left. McLeod with a long run. Foul ball. So put me in CC Sabathia's head if you could right now, John. You're the starting pitcher. You've been dominant. You've got a 3-0 lead, and you look up there and say they got two more cracks at it.
You're in attack mode for that first hitter. And you just know that it takes 2 runners to get on and a big swing to tie the game. But you basically keep eliminating their hopes by getting that first guy out. It's harder to score runs with 2 outs and start rallies. But you get into that next mode. You don't think about how many pitches you've thrown. You don't think about where you are. You just think about outs. And the more you execute pitches to get outs, the game's a little bit easier.
Do you allow yourself to relax with a tacked on run? Is that natural, or is that you have to tell yourself?
No, matter of fact, you go the other way. You make it as if it is that 1 run is all that they need.
Chavez waves to strike out at the end of the 7th. But the Yankees pad their lead. Randerson with the long ball. 3-0. Get your team's news first. Get the Team Stream app from Bleacher Report, and you'll never miss another big moment with your team. Download Team Stream from the App Store or Google Play. We are ready to go in the top half of the 8th inning. Yankees 6 outs away from a date with the Tigers. But this Oriole team, well, a lot of words to describe them, and as we came on the air, told you about Chris Davis saying they're unassuming and relentless. And it's going to take everything they've got here against CC Sabathia. And there's a start as Matt Wieters lines a single to left.
Well, they know they got to score at least 1, possibly 2 in this inning, and in a perfect world 3 if they could, to get it to that point in the 9th inning. It's awfully difficult once you get to the 9th with the matchups that they can bring out of the bullpen. So a good start, and see if they can at least put the tying run on to create some excitement.
Brett Gardner, the new left fielder, and Ichiro moves from left to right. Nick Swisher out.
It's all about hope right now, and a base hit leading off the inning gives you hope.
Here's Machado.
Haven't been able to get anything started against CC. It was going to be a tough struggle anyway. You're right. Let's see if you can put a little pressure on him. If you're Manny Machado, let me see if I can pass it on to Mark Reynolds.
I was looking down there to see if any team meeting had taken place like yesterday, but I haven't seen it yet and does not feel it.
Yeah, that one came in extra innings. The last 2 games, 12 innings in game 3, 13 innings in game 4.
This has been about, I don't know, 4th or 5th time 2-0. An Oriole hitter has yet to let it go on 2-0 when they see their pitch.
Machado takes a strike. 2-1.
And the pattern continues. That's a good pitch to hit. It's the one that you want to air out.
Leaders at first with the second Baltimore hit of the night off Sabathia. And now the count 3-1. Machado 0 for 2. Orioles down 3-0. Top of the 8th. And they have runners at first and second with nobody out. Tying run comes to the plate.
That's why getting the first guy out in a situation is so important. You never get a sense that anything big might happen. But now you see first and second. Now you're one swing away from a tie game.
A little scrambling in the Yankee bullpen.
And the guy at the plate is a guy who hit 23 home runs in the regular season, 7 against the Yankees, Mark Reynolds.
I still maintain, I know, he walked a guy. He's been around the plate. If you're the Orioles hitter, you've got to look for a pitch to drive and look for the count in your favor.
He hasn't been in trouble at all, obviously. And normally he'll find his changeup for these situations right here, 1-0.
Ball and a strike to Reynolds, who on September 8th at Camden Yards took Sabathia deep.
That was a better pitch. He did throw it. Better swing. That was a changeup, to your point, Cal, but a much better swing. That changeup cut over the middle of the plate. He kind of got away with it.
David Robertson up and throwing in the Yankee bullpen as Reynolds takes outside, 2-1.
If I'm Mark right now, I got that changeup in the front of my mind. That's where he's gone. That's where he's going to go to. You want to make sure you get a strike out of it, though.
Runners lead from first and second as Sabathia comes to the plate. 3 balls and 1 strike.
I would have guessed wrong.
Wouldn't have mattered. It was out of the zone. You would have laid off it, right?
I hope so.
Matt Wieters singled. Machado walked. Sabathia delivering a 3-1 and the count full.
That was Mark's best pitch to hit. 3-1 fastball, 93 miles an hour though. It had a lot of the plate.
Well, your pitcher's Rolodex right now going through your mind going, do I have the touch to throw the 3-2 changeup, feed off the aggressiveness of a hitter, and really make a change, a game-changer pitch right here, 3-2.
One down. And the frustration etched on the face of Mark Reynolds.
Well, it was a game-changer pitch, all right. The fastball's starting to leak away. It's starting to go up and out. Good changeup. Leaked over the plate, but the fastball's not enticing enough. He gets to a 3-1 count. This was the best pitch of the at-bat to hit. Right there, 93 down the middle, and then a slider.
So here's Lou Ford, the DH, who has homered twice in his career off Sabathia. Tonight he's 0 for 2. He represents the tying run in a 3-0 game in the 8th. And takes a strike.
Call a little extra, 94, John.
Well, he's definitely got it in there, and you said it right before. He's not just a thrower, he's a pitcher. He's been able to command and finesse, and he just came out here and was a little wide on his fastball. Everything else has been still pretty crisp.
Ball and a strike. We talked about that September 8th game. Sabathia actually gave up 3 home runs to the Orioles that day at Camden Yards. Reynolds, Ford, and J.J. Hardy.
That last one was a breaking ball. Wonder if that's still in the back of CC's mind.
1-1 in the hole past Jeter. Gardner up and throwing as Wieters scores, and it's a 3-1 game.
You know the danger in these games when you ask me, Ernie, as we watch this pitch, not getting on the outside part of the plate, coming back over the middle, and he just pulls it right outside of Jeter. Is the danger is when you start thinking outs, how many are left? You find yourself in this situation. I'm not saying that's what he did, but that's why it's so important. Each batter going, that's the only guy I'm concerned about. Then the next one, that's the only guy I'm concerned about. That's how you go to the next level and finish and close out games.
So the Orioles on the board here in the 8th. It's 3-1. Runners at first and second. And Robert Andino takes a strike. And David Robertson. Seen him a lot in this series. Machado is the runner at second. Lou Ford, after the RBI single, is at first. And a ball and a strike to Andino.
95, Ernie. Little flames.
And that was pitch number 100.
Little Verlander-like, calling on your fastball late in the game.
Sabathia threw 120 pitches and going 8 2/3 in the opener. He's ahead 1-2. The Orioles' leading RBI man in this series is leadoff hitter Nate McLouth, and he's on deck.
That's a great pitch and a good take. So you had a great pitch and a good take. The last fastball was in. The last thing the hitter recognized was a low fastball in. He tried to make that look like a low fastball and get it to his back foot. He just threw it a little bit too quick, and it bounced before the hitter could actually go after it.
The 2-2. Sabathia will make the play. He'll go to second. It's late. All hands safe. The bases are loaded. Sabathia looked at third, Cal and John, and nobody there to cover.
Well, the first thing you got to do is recognize he's going away from first base, so he didn't think the third baseman was going to be charged and maybe get the easy out at third. But this is a play you make a lot of times and just wheel to throw to first. Now there's nobody there. His second option is going to be too late. If you don't think about that play right away to go to first, no chance to get anybody out anywhere.
You got to take the shore out right there. The infielders are coming in. They can't rely on you to make that play. They got to come field the ball as if you're not going to get it. As the pitcher, you got to realize that, and you got to stop and make the out at first base.
So now the base is loaded, full of Orioles. And Nate McLeod, the leadoff hitter who's knocked in 5 runs in the postseason to lead the team, stands in. Takes a breaking ball over for a strike.
I guarantee you one of his thoughts was don't get the tying runs in scoring position. You think you can get that easy out at third, but what he did is create chaos because the third baseman wasn't there, and by that point no way to turn around and go back to first base.
He knocked in the 2 Orioles runs off of Sabathia in game 1. He's behind 0-2. And here was the moment at Camden Yards in the opener. That's all the Orioles would get off Sabathia in game 1.
And that was on a breaking ball that stayed over the plate. I was 100%, 1,000% certain I was going to get a slider if I was Nate on that first pitch, and he took it for strike 1. Then he came back with a fastball right here, so Nate doesn't know at all what's coming.
Orioles lead from every base as McLeod waits on an 0-2, which misses a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, the difference tonight is he hasn't thrown any of those breaking balls he threw in Baltimore, where those left-handers, Chris Davis, and you saw McLeod get that hit. So his breaking balls have been much more on plane and firm, which is making it difficult, as you said, to not know what's coming. You don't look for an area.
I would agree with you, except for that first pitch to Nate. After hitting the ball, just missing the foul pole down the right field line. That's the pitch I thought he was going to sit on.
And McLeod goes down swinging for the second out here in the 8th.
Well, this again, breaking ball, gets on the outer half. Great pitch. Hitter sees it, can't stay back. And now one of the toughest managerial decisions. You got your horse out there against J.J. Hardy. You got a right-hander waiting in the bullpen. It's his at this moment to get out of this jam.
Hardy is 0 for 3. And he bats with the bases loaded. Orioles down 2.
'86, was that a changeup that cut a little bit?
Looks like it. I mean, he's cut a couple of them here in these moments. You get in this point and you try to make it really good, really picture perfect, and you stay on a little bit too long. Good job by Martin right here. I mean, this is like filling up an air balloon, the air in a balloon, and right now you don't want it popped if you're the Yankees, and you don't want the air to come out if you're the Orioles. And they got to be absolutely sure as a tandem what they're trying to do in this situation.
There was the cone of secrecy right there with everybody's gloves over their mouth. They could be changing the signs here, or they could be talking about what pitch they might want to throw.
The Orioles only had 2 base runners through 7 innings. We're being shut out by C.C. Sabathia. They're on the board here in the 8th with the bases loaded and 2 out. J.J. Hardy waits and takes a strike 1-1. Last night when we went 13 innings, it was J.J. Hardy who delivered. Off the wall over the head of Ichiro.
Well, you see how far J.J. seems away from home plate. It's awfully inviting to go out there on the outside part of the plate and think he can't reach it. But if it's not on the outside part of the plate, he will reach it.
Didn't reach that. 1-2.
Those last 2 pitches are big-time pitches. Fastball on the outside half at 94, coming back with a changeup that looks exactly like the pitch before, and he breaks it off.
to short. Jeter will have to hurry and got him by a step. The Orioles get on the board, but leave them loaded. And Jeter on the charge and got him by a step. Cool, crisp night in New York. Our aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Beautiful look from above at Yankee Stadium. Site of Game 5 of the ALDS. Winner gets the Tigers, and it's over for the loser. Pedro Strop, the third Oriole pitcher, comes on here in the bottom half of the eighth. He was one of the contingent of relievers who pitched 7 1/3 scoreless in Game 4 for Baltimore.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Everybody's done a great job down there, but he did a great job having not pitched in a long time. His first appearance on the road, can't make a mistake. Great job.
He'll face the top of the New York order, Derek Jeter. Takes the ball. To the Yankee leadoff hitter. Jeter 0 for 2. Called out on strikes, struck out swinging, walked in the 6th, and scored the second New York run. And Strop has missed with his first 3. Buck Showalter watching the Orioles mount a rally in the top half of the 8th, getting on the board, but leaving the bases loaded. Taking all the way, obviously, Jeter, and it's 3-1.
Well, the Orioles gave themselves a chance, and they got that 1 run. They could have got a chance to obviously tie the game and take the lead, but at least if they can keep it right here, the 9th inning is a little bit more doable.
Big scoring chance. CC made the bad play. throwing the ball to second base, but then got himself out of it by making some really great pitches. But yeah, if you score that one extra run and make it 3-2, that's huge going into the ninth inning.
The 3-2 from Stroke. Rounded wide of first. Reynolds with the flip. And Stroke battles back from 3-0 to retire Jeter.
Well, I've been impressed with one thing that you notice as a pitcher only because you practice it so many times. I didn't think anybody could cover as much ground as Albert Pujols does at first base. I think Reynolds would give him a run for the money with the way he's been playing first base for the Orioles.
He's got good legs, good third baseman legs, but over that first base, his quick release and his 3.63 is probably as good as anybody in the league as well. But he's done a nice job there.
Here's Ichiro. Came up with a big double in the 6th that scored Jeter with the second run. And here it was in the 6th inning.
Made up his mind. He can hit, they say he can hit a home run just about any time he wants in batting practice. Goes up there sometimes and just spoils all the pitches and is looking to do something different. He went up there looking to drive the ball, and he did. Derek made a very difficult play under the circumstances. Looked very easy, by the way, in the last inning.
That's his signature play to me when I think about it. How easy he makes that play coming in. His footwork is so precise. Catches it with two hands off his left foot. Throws quickly off his right foot very accurately. You're right. With everything at stake, that was a big time play.
3 balls and a strike, and things do get ratcheted up a bit, do they not, Cal? Depending on the situation late in a game like this.
Yes, 2-hopper, 3-hopper. He's coming in with speed, catches it, two-hand. A lot of people like to make that play one-handed and then transfer it, but Derek's always been that way and always been great at it.
Ichiro draws a 1-out walk from Stroke. And that brings Buck Showalter out of the Orioles dugout. He wants the other left-hander in the pen, Brian Mattis. Troy Patton already working. And Mattis makes his appearance here in Game 5. Back with more from Yankee Stadium right after this. Jim Cotton. Who do you like in that one, guys? Going to venture a prediction?
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, Gonzalez got away with some incredible lack of control. I don't think he'll get away with it this time. I think he's going to have to be a little bit better in the strike zone. I like the experience of St. Louis. Been through so many of these games last year.
Brian Mattis on here for the Orioles. Robinson Cano swinging at the first pitch, hit it sharply, but that's a 4-6-3 double play. One pitch, end of inning. Yankees at home in the postseason, 92-0 when they lead after 8. We go to the 9th. Three to 1 Yankees, top half of the 9th. In the deciding game of this series, the American League Division Series between the Yankees and the Orioles. The Detroit Tigers waiting on the winner. If it's the Yankees, the Tigers will come here for the first two. If the Orioles rally for a win and win this game, they would travel to Detroit. Look who's back out there on the mound. CC Sabathia in the 9th. Adam Jones steps in. Jones is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. 2 for 22 in the series, 2 for 25 in the postseason. In the air to left. Brett Gardner calls. One down. The note that we gave you as we went to break after the 8th. 92-0 at home in the postseason. Then they take a lead to the 9th. It's 3-1.
How many of those are Mariano?
90. It seems. Here's Chris Davis. He's 0 for 3 against Sabathia tonight. The Orioles with 4 hits. Sabathia, who pitched 8 2/3 in the opener, working in the 9th here in Game 5.
I know where you go with this one. Lower than low. He's been going after that pitch. Pitch recognition has been attack, down. I mean, certainly you could try to throw the fastball up, but why fool with it? See if he goes 3 in a row and tries to bounce it.
Pretty certain this is going to go back to the breaking ball. Tried to elevate the fastball right there.
Sabathia threw 120 pitches in Game 1. This is pitch number 117.
The only reason I didn't like it there rather than 3 in a row is then you do change the eyes of a fastball up, and that pitch looks really low coming out of his hand, whereas the first 2 were out of his hand low. The third one probably would have been the same effect, but nonetheless, he's still got him 1 and 2.
Orioles trying to get a base runner and bring the tying run to the plate here in the 9th as Davis battles Sabathia. Baltimore left them loaded in the 8th. They're down to their last out. Nine strikeouts for CC Sabathia. Here's Matt Wieters, who led off the 8th with a single and has scored the only Baltimore run. Oh, and 1. To Sabathia, fitting, ball game, and for the 15th time, the Yankees are on their way to the American League Championship Series. Been a dream season for the Baltimore Orioles. It comes to an end here in New York. A win shy of a trip to the American League Championship Series. And we talked about the fact that they had fought with the Yankees down the stretch. Could catch him, but couldn't pass him. And here in Game 5, again, the Yankees hold them off.
Yeah, you hate these teachable moments, but that's exactly what they are. You'll learn from it. You'll be great. This kid's gotten a ton of experience. He'll get a chance to experience this, I'm sure, on the field. You take it in. It's not fun, but what a great series. It was fought tooth and nail to the end. And the man that was called and paid to do what he needs to do did it better than anybody in the stadium tonight.
Yeah, looking at Manny Machado, watch the celebration.
I would recommend that he do watch the celebration. At the end of '82, we came up just a little short in the first year, and watching that, you do learn from that, and you want it even more the next year. So take it all in.
The celebration continues for the New York Yankees. That guy never played, Alex Rodriguez, who struggled through the first 4 games and benched for Game 5. But the Yankees prevail 3-1 and move on to take on the Detroit Tigers, who will make their way to New York for Game 1 on Saturday here on TBS. Our Chevrolet player of the game. This was not a tough call. He went the distance. CC Sabathia.
Well, this is what big game pitchers want to be in the position they want to be in. Start off strong, finish strong. That's what he did. Sets up for an exciting series between 2 of the best pitchers in the game, CC Sabathia and Justin Verlander. And that feels good, by the way, when you know you can take your team to the next level.
Craig Sager is down there with CC. Sags?
Well, CC Sabathia bookends a great series, winning Game 1 and also winning the clinching game here in Game 5. But how determined were you tonight to go the distance, put the team on your back?
I felt good. I felt good early in the game. I got some swings early, kept the pitch count down, was able to go deep into the game, and ended up getting a chance to finish. So it just feels good.
Joe Girardi had a lot of difficult decisions to make tonight, beginning with the decision not to start A-Rod, but also he decided to leave you out there to finish the game. How convinced were you that he was going to give you that opportunity, and how bad did you want to finish?
You know what? Honestly, I never thought about it. I was just, going out trying to make a pitch. In the 8th inning, I got a little erratic, so I was just trying to make, take my time, make one pitch at a time, and get this win.
Your opponent tonight was Baltimore's Hamill. However, how much are you thinking about Detroit's Verlander and what he did yesterday to put his team on his back and go the distance?
Of course, you want to be that guy. It's playoff time. It's time to go, and I felt good today and was able to get the win. Hopefully I can keep it going.
Obviously, you've been in the postseason before, 2 other teams, Cleveland and Milwaukee, but it seems like since you've been in the Yankee uniform, you've been a different pitcher. How have you improved? What have you learned?
It gives me confidence. Being able to come here in front of these great fans in the Bronx, playing with guys like Derek Jeter, Robbie Cano, it takes a lot of pressure off. So being able to come here relaxes you, and this is what we play for.
When you're on the mound, these fans have confidence, so do your teammates. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you, EJ.
All right, thank you, Segs and CC. Orioles beat Sabathia twice in the regular season, but here in October, it's CC who dominates twice and carries the Yankees into the American League Championship Series against the Detroit Tigers. Craig Sager, let's go back to the field. He's got Curtis Granderson with him.
Well, Curtis, the Yankees' batting order was not scoring a lot of runs going into this series. Joe Girardi decided to mix things up. He benched A-Rod. Some people said that maybe you didn't have the right numbers to be out there. How confident were you in your performance going into tonight?
The big thing about baseball is things could change in a matter of a pitch or a swing or a day, and this is a great game where you get another opportunity to go back out there again today, no matter what you've done the previous days. And we took advantage of today. We're not going ahead and doing all the things that we want offensively, but we did enough to go ahead and advance. You've become one of the great power hitters, one of the great home run hitters in our game. What about the one you did here tonight? It was interesting, just trying to go ahead and put the ball in play. Watching Raul Ibanez at bat previously against him definitely helped out a lot. So talking to him beforehand, seeing what his approach was, what the ball's doing, definitely helped me out. You're an integral part of the Detroit Tigers a few years ago as they marched on to the World Series. What memories do you have of that team, and what do you think the response will be when you go back? It was fun and exciting time. It was my first full season in the big leagues, and we had a lot of young guys in that team, Justin Verlander, Joe Zumaya, Ryan Rayburn, a bunch of guys that had their first experience of full-time and getting that far. And that team and that organization was hungry to get back there, and you can see they've got back to the playoffs, and now they're back again in the ALCS. They're going to be excited. They're going to be energetic. They're going to be very confident, and Leland's going to have those boys ready to play. As we see other teams clinch and move on to League Championship Series, we see very, very exciting celebrations in the locker room. Will the Yankees have one in a few minutes, or is this just something you take for granted? Well, you got to enjoy the moment no matter what. This isn't anything that's given to you by any means. It was a hard fought-out 5 games. We're going to enjoy it, but we also realize that in a short turnaround, we got to get back ready to play and get back to work.
See you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
That short turnaround is right. Game 1 tomorrow night here on TBS. Give me your early take on Tigers-Yankees ALCS best of 7. Cal, you go first.
Well, both of those pitchers aren't going to have a big impact in the series like they would if they were starting the first game. So Verlander and Sabathia. Playing against a team like Detroit, that'd be my first scare, is having someone like Verlander have a chance to impact both those games. But I think the Yankee offense is going to get going a little bit, even though Detroit does have a power pitching style of pitching, and I think that really does well in the playoffs. So, it's going to be a great series, and I don't think it could have got any better than this series to sit here and watch this. But Curtis Granderson summed it up really well. They did just enough to move on. Stats start over in the next series.
Winner Game 3, I think, is going to win it. That's the heavyweight matchup between Verlander and CC Sabathia. It's must-see TV in Game 3, and I'm looking forward to it.
Wow, what a promo. They're going to give you even another job here with Turner. Cal, it's been a pleasure having you in the booth with us.
It's been great.
And I know you'll be in the studio with Matt and the gang for the American League Championship Series as the New York Yankees move on, and they do celebrate. Tomorrow night at this time, they'll be all wrapped up in Game 1 against the Detroit Tigers. So our final score tonight in Game 5. The Yankees are winners over the Baltimore Orioles 3-1. For John Smoltz, Cal Ripken, Craig Sager, the rest of our crew, producer Glenn Diamond, director Lonnie Dale, our technical director Bob Bradco, AD Billy Proctor, graphics coordinators Jeff Paris and Allison Lehrer, and our research and Dean of Baseball Statistics, Hal Galima. This is Ernie Johnson. The ALDS in the books. The ALCS starts tomorrow right here on TBS. Yankees, Tigers, be there.